Let's bring in former Assistant U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey, Mitchell Epner. Mitchell, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
I love the Knicks sign behind you, by the way. All right, so 19 Democratic attorneys general, including the New Jersey AG, where you once worked, are behind the suit to block Treasury access to Elon Musk and, of course, his team at Doge. A hearing scheduled later this week. I have to ask, do they have a strong case here?
So yes, there is a strong case to be made that there are laws and regulations in place to protect the general public's privacy in information that they give to the federal government in order to receive things like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and other federal payments. And those privacy concerns cannot just be swept aside by the stroke of the president or Elon Musk's pen. That's what the law until now was generally understood to mean. We'll see whether or not it survives in this environment.
So how likely is it that Doge is allowed back into those records for the Treasury Department?
So I know that this is a lawyerly answer, but it is going to be a more narrow decision. It's not going to be Doge is allowed in gross or Doge is not allowed in at all. My expectation is that the judge will make a ruling based upon specific statutes protecting specific types of data. And, for Elon Musk to come out and say the judge should be impeached is consistent with the way he's acted in court over the last decade. And at one level, it's been wildly unsuccessful. He was forced, for example, to buy Twitter even after he blasted the judge who was making that decision. On the other hand, he's now the richest and one of the most powerful people in the world. So who am I to tell him that what he's been doing hasn't been working?
A good point. On Monday, there will be a separate hearing, this one regarding that other lawsuit against Trump's buyout offer for 2 million government employees to leave their job. What will a judge be listening for here in this hearing, Mitchell?
So that case is going to be in front of Judge O'Toole up in the District of Massachusetts. And the issue there is really one of procedure. Did the federal government dot the I's and cross the T's before it put out this offer to essentially allow people to leave their jobs now and get paid until the middle of September? And there's a very strong argument that because the government is scheduled to shut down in the middle of March, unless there's an extension, that there can't be any such promise that goes all the way to September. So that is much more about procedure than about the actual ability of the government, if it had everything in place, to do the things that it wants to do. The government can fire people. There's no question about that. There is a question about its ability to pay people not to work, and there's a question about its ability to promise to pay people past March 15th.
Now, this is an unprecedented move from the Trump administration. How likely is it, Mitchell, that the court will rule in the president's favor here?
So the only thing that I know for certain about the future is that it hasn't happened yet. I will tell you that on questions of procedure, Donald Trump and his team have not had a great record. And to the extent that the judge is saying, was the proper procedure followed, the Trump administration really hasn't cared about procedure. Their mantra has been move fast, break things, and worry about the damage later. So I would not be surprised if there was some form of injunction that was put in place. But that's a holding action. That doesn't mean at the end of the day that Trump won't be able to do this thing. It means that I think it's highly possible that it'll be stopped from doing it now.
All right, we will be watching this week. Mitchell Epner, thank you so much for the insight here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Coming up.